Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the WD Lounge where film, music, and culture connects. And I just wanted to come back and talk about this subject here. I know it's a couple of days overdue. You know, a lot of creators have already made responses about it and talked about it, but I specifically wanted to give my 2 cents about it as well because it kind of hits near and dear to me. So I wanted to give my perspective on things. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about the lawsuit that apparently Cameron is putting against J. Cole due to a track that he was promised for, like a track swap, so to speak. And pretty much J. Cole has been like ghosting him about that, not living up to his word or his promise about doing that. And now it's to a point where Cameron had to put a $500,000 lawsuit against J. Cole for that because he didn't live up to his word. And we got some audio here, so let's just hear what Cameron had to say.
This is exactly what happened, just so you know. And I don't really care anymore. It was just more to get his attention. Not saying that I don't need to be compensated for what I do or do what you say you're going to do. And to me, being a man is keeping your word. And I know everybody's busy and everybody has things to do and so on and so forth. But if I give you my word 4 or 5 times, I got to do it out of the one time out of 4 or 5 times. So on his first project he did, I did an intro for him. He needed it within 24 hours. Luckily, I was in my home studio. I called my engineer over. I did the record for him for his intro. I think it's I-95 or something like that. I think we have 48 hours to do it. I called my engineer over, knocked it out, gave it to him. Cool. I told him I may need a verse whenever I get a project done. So he said, cool. He had another project that he put out. I think it was the last project he put out. I forget what it was called, but I did I'm Ready over for his project, which was originally a Diplomat record. I'm Ready, that we did on the Diplomat project. So he said, when are you in town? Are you going to be in New York? And I'm like, no, next week. He hit me the next week. You in town? I said, yeah. He said, can you come to the studio? I said, I could come tomorrow. I'll make time. I went to the studio. He played me the record. I did the record. You can ask him. And Corday was there, the young boy Corday, the rapper. He was there. I did the record in 20 minutes. I knocked that shit out and went off about my business. May have been 15 minutes. I wasn't there 30 minutes. I was in and out. And I told him, look, I just need an interview. First I said I want a verse. Then he says, okay, when's the project coming out? When's you gonna get it? I said, I don't know when the project I just need a verse. Because this project, the last project I did for him, let's just say it was June, it's supposed to come out November. It didn't come out till the next November. So he was sitting on the verse for like a year and a half, which it was to me old at the time. And I'm saying, that shit is outdated. But he called me one night like, yo, I'm just letting you know Monday I'm putting that song out. And I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, it's all good. I need a verse. Well, I'm exaggerating, but he's like the shock rain right now. And, the moon got aligned with the stars. And, when I write, I put my all into it. Okay, let's put your all into it then. You know what I'm saying?
Give me that
He
verse.
called me twice to do something, and I did it. One day you have 48 hours to do it. Then I knocked the other thing out as soon as I came to New York, because you ain't want to send me a record, you want to be in the studio with me. I knocked it out. Cool, you don't give me the record, which is fine. Then I say, you know what, forget the record. Let's do an interview. Bet I got you. I got a project coming out in June. Let's do it around there. Cool, I'll do and mind you, the months I'm saying may not be accurate for the months. Cool, June is coming. Oh, we pushed the album back. I don't want to just do an interview. All right, cool. Now we're going to do it in October. All right, I'll call you back in October. Yo, what's up? Oh, man, Keller, you say I tell you October, you call October, huh, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah. Nah, I can't do it because, this is when all the beef is going on with Kendrick Lamar. I can't do it now because the shit is going on with Kendrick Lamar and all that. And I don't feel like talking about that right now. I said, look, I'll do the interview. I won't even bring that up. I won't even talk about that. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. We got to talk about it.
Oh, no.
I said, all right, well, when can I get the interview? Yo, February, definite. February, I'm dead ass on February. We going to get it done in February. All right, cool. February come. Yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Yo, I'm still working, man. I said, listen, bro, I got all the texts. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, you can't keep telling me this because now when I'm big, I said, listen, I need your word, bro. You done gave me your word 3-4 times. I need your word. When are you going to do this interview? Yo, we not pushing it back. I promise you we not pushing back. June. We back a full year, back to June. I said, are you sure? I don't care about if the album comes out, not coming out, beef, birthday. Are you sure? Kim, you got my word. Bet. Now I'm starting to do all these, other shows I got going on, deals I got lined up on the table, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm out polying deals. And like I said, that's why I say you don't count no money till it's in your pocket, which it didn't matter anyway. But when I'm polying these deals, J. Cole doesn't do a lot of interviews. I'm saying I'm going to have J. Cole interview for you in June. They're like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, nah, I'm dead serious. I'm like, when I'm working out deals for all my other shows, get the fuck out of here. I bet. Cool. Now I'm polying deals off of what you told me, which, you shouldn't do that anyway. That's not a tangible business. But if I did 2 favors for you, then you gave me your word 4 times, I'm assuming on the 5th time, you got to.
And that's way past due.
You said rain, sleet, snow. This time you dead serious. June come, and then I say, yo, what's up? He say, yo, bro, I'm going to have to keep it real with you. I can't do it. I don't know when the album going to be done. And I say, I can't promise you a date, but I can do the date. I don't want to keep telling you I'm going to do it and don't do it, this, that, and the third. So I'm going to just have to say I'm going to have to pass for now.
Damn. Now I got to cut you. You know what I'm saying?
Pass for now.
What the fuck?
So I knock a song out for you in 48 hours because your album's due. I come to a verse for you 2 weeks later in New York because you called. Now, mind you, I'm not calling J. Cole, even though I'm a fan. I'm cool. You're calling me to do this stuff. I appreciate the call. Don't get me wrong. I fuck with him. I like doing the music. But you're calling me to do this stuff. Then when I ask you to do something for me, you string me along for a year. First of all, no verse. Because the chakra, you got to write the bass. He told me how when I try to kill everybody while I'm on the record. It'd take me 3 weeks to write around. All right, that's fine.
Word.
Let's just do the interview. You string me along for a year for that. Then finally tell me after a year, after you gave me your word 4 times, that the last time I'm just not gonna be able to do it. So my thing was, that's fine. You strung me along for a year, no verse, no interview, no nothing. Told me 4 times you're gonna do it. 5th time you told me forget it. Just pay me for what I've done already.
Right. So you see, the way I feel about this is like this. I've been in this situation before because I did something with a certain producer that I used to work with, and we did a project together, and we didn't get a chance and we didn't do any paperwork. I didn't sign no contract because it was a homie agreement. It was like, okay, if we do something together and when it comes up, we get 50-50. If we don't, we're gonna keep grinding together until we do. Fast forward to the project getting picked up and being distributed. Not only I wasn't a part of the meeting when that happened, and that also when the payment was given, I wasn't broken off at all. And the reason why I couldn't really rebut that is because I didn't sign a contract. So sometimes when you put yourself in a situation like that where you doing handshake agreements and stuff like that, it's not ironclad. So you put yourself in a position to be vulnerable in that sense because it gives the other person the opportunity to say that hey, we didn't agree to anything, to any terms as far as contractual goals, but we did agree to do something by handshake. So this could always be rebutted. And I think Cameron is finding himself in that same situation as well, because he, being promised something and not and not getting it it's kind of messed up. But in a situation like that, you always want to protect yourself. That's why it was a great lesson for me to learn that, because going forward, I'd never do business without having a contractual agreement. That way it's ironclad, it's in paper, and then there's no other way to bind that in, unless there's no other way to bind it without repercussions. So and when it comes to J. Cole, I think that's some slimy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like J. Cole is really showing a slimy side of him that, he normally tries to protect his reputation. But as you can see, his reputation has been taking a hit ever since the whole beef situation. Coming out at first talking about he was the hardest MC and trying to get a big three going with Kendrick and him and Drake. But we all know how that turned out. Kendrick Lamar came out with Like That, and pretty much called out Drake and Kendrick, Drake and J. Cole. J. Cole responded with the 7-minute drill, might delete later mixtape. And then, about a week later, a couple of days later, he apologized for it. He ain't want the smoke at that time. So Drake had to step in. Hats off to Drake for competing. But, Drake got annihilated by Kendrick Lamar. And as a result of him going through that battle, is made Kendrick Lamar become one of the top superstars in hip hop right now. And it's pretty much helped Kendrick, and it's hurt more Drake and J. Cole. But J. Cole's trying to get a little. J. Cole has his comeback. He just dropped the album right now. People are having some good reviews about it, but he still has that stain about not competing when it comes to that. So there's a lot of ugly sides that's coming around J. Cole. But me personally, I just feel like that's some slimy ish. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you have an agreement with somebody, you stick with your agreement. You got to be your word. He's either you're a man of your word or you ain't shit. Pretty much like that. Excuse my language, but it just boils my stomach to think about that. If you got to be a man of your word, I'm saying, if you're gonna promise somebody something, promise them something. I'm saying, or come correct when you give your word, because all you have is your word. You know what I mean? A man's word is everything. So once your word is not bond anymore, you pretty much your credibility is stained and it's pretty much washed away. So let me know what y'all think about it. What do you think about the situation? Do you think J. Cole's in the wrong? He's in the right? Do you think he's validated? Yeah, he feels like he doesn't owe him anything. Back and forth between Cameron, or do you think Cameron is justified for dropping the lawsuit? Leave it on the comment section and let me know what y'all think. It's WD Lounge signing off. Until the next one, holla back.